What's up, everybody? Brandon here, and I know what you're thinking. Hey, where's Calvin? He is not here. He is actually out sick with COVID. So definitely, when you get a chance, send him a DM through the Straight Up Show podcast on Instagram. But today you have me and Kristina, and we're bringing you Straight Up Extra to the main feed, wherever you're listening to us, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. We've been busy with Straight Up Extra on the Patreon. So this will give you a kind of taste of what we've been doing on that end of the brand. I'm not going to prolong this because we want to get to the episode, but today me and Kristina are going to be having a conversation about how can we have a conversation if you don't agree with me. That's coming up next. Let me take the time to talk about our website because I don't know if you all noticed, but we've had a makeover this season. Check it out. Take the time to go to straightupshowpodcast.com. That's STR8UP and you can listen to every episode of Straight Up. That's right. If you don't want to download any app to listen to Straight Up, you can listen to all of our episodes on the website. You can also check out our merchandise and join the Patreon where you can listen to Straight Up Extra on the website. You can also see our reviews and fill out our form on the Contact Us tab if you want to be a guest on Straight Up. Everything is on our website. Tell us what you think by clicking on one of our social media links on the website and sending us a DM. Now, let's get the show started. What's up, everybody? Once again, Brandon, Kristina is here. Straight Up Extra. I hope you like the intro. That is our little deal. Real smooth. Hope you like it. I will have the creator and the show notes so you know who composed that little jazzy deal. That's definitely our style because we keep things pretty smooth, very chill, laid back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kristina, we've been busy.
Other than Straight Up Extra with you, which I've been thoroughly enjoying, I've just been, living, schooling, potentially relocating, doing things, living life as everybody else is day to day. That's about it for me, though. Occupied.
Isn't that the truth? Taking it day by day, relocating, of course, with everything that's going on, all of the aftermath of just everything. Yes, I hope everybody is staying well, staying healthy, mentally, physically, all that goodness. And once again, send your DMs to the Straight Up Podcast on our social media feeds. I will have that in the show notes so you can wish Calvin get well. But we're about to get started because we want to talk about how can we have a conversation if you don't agree with me, Kristina. Which we get along very well. We think very similarly. We like to stay in a gray area, but sometimes we disagree, like the Will Smith and Chris Rock. Yes, people, we did talk about that topic, but it was on Straight Up Extra, and honestly, it was a great conversation. Definitely subscribe so you can listen to that. Only $3 for the audio version. But Kristina's very pro Chris Rock. I'm a diehard Will Smith. So it got heated. It did. I was sweating.
We're not going back there.
But
we're not going back there. Almost ruined our relationship.
So with this conversation, I want to hit 3 topics. First of all, the butt button, which I can't wait to get into. My opinion. I hate that. I hate that term so much. My opinion. Repeat till validated. Those 3 things we're going to talk about today. How can we have a conversation if you don't agree with me? By the way, we're doing this episode because it's, this is kind of, we usually do go live every Tuesday, but we want to do this show specifically for you all so you can have some type of content this week. We couldn't get anything out due to Calvin catching COVID, but usually you can catch us live on the Patreon where you can comment, join the conversation, and just join us, bring in your thoughts, and possibly steer the conversation in another way. But today we have our topic, and I want to talk about the butt button.
Please explain what this is, because he won't tell me, and I'm so curious.
The
What
butt.
is the butt button?
Everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody. Even I used to have a butt button.
Mm-hmm.
The butt button is what you have in your mind, and it's when you're listening to somebody and you are waiting to say but.
I had a feeling. I just wasn't sure. I was like, what is the butt button? Okay.
Yeah, it's very and it's something that I'm quite sure a lot of you already know. You do it. You're talking to your friend. You're like, yeah, I already know what I'm about to say to you right now. Yep,
It's that
yep,
insert your
yep.
own
It's already.
listening just to squeeze
And
in.
and and this is for me. I tell you all the time. I cannot think and listen at the same time. I can't. This is why I was so terrible in school. If I'm talking to you, I have to proactively listen 100%. If I'm thinking about something, I didn't hear what you said. Nothing was collected, no data at all. Like clear the cache system, like everything. I didn't get any of that. And I swear, sometimes it's because I already know what I'm gonna say to you. I already know. But it's one of those things like, let me hear this person out and let me like actively listen. That's the butt button. Some people just have it, you know. If we're in this time frame right now, and we're not, and I'm sorry, just we're gonna talk about the political stuff, but we're not gonna talk about politics. But right now, we got the whole Roe versus Wade thing going on. Huge thing. Don't look at me like that. I'm only bringing it up only because this is one of those things where it's like people are not listening to each other, and you can be on one side, you can be in. Look, it's okay to disagree. My issue is the hate. You know, at the end of the day, I'm all about the hate. I don't like the hate. I don't like the drama. I don't like the cursing and the yelling, the veins coming out of people's faces as they're talking, turning red or like blue. Like, I don't like it. We can do it. We can do without that. And it goes to like, first, keep your hand off of the butt button. Stay away from your butt button. That's gonna be a t-shirt. That's gonna be a t-shirt. I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna talk to Calvin about it. We're gonna have a butt button shirt. No, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. By the way, check out the merchandise on the Teespring, because we have some awesome shirts, especially for season 6. But butt button shirt, t-shirt coming soon. It might be a combination of black and brown. I don't know. We're gonna figure out. But like, I mean, what's your experience with your own butt button, Kristina?
I feel like this whole conversation is gonna be me trying inevitably defending myself. Okay, so I understand what this is now. I'm guilty of doing this. So I'm gonna start with, I also have a hard time sometimes focusing
Not touching your butt button.
What's being said. And it's not like, oh, I'm listening very closely to what the person is saying to me, and I'm a very good listener. I'm an active listener. I'm storing constant questions though. So as that person's speaking, I'm trying my best not to interrupt them, but I have deeper questions to ask about what they say, and I fight myself to not do it right then. But my memory is not my friend. So sometimes you'll even see I'll have a notepad if I'm discussing something with a person or whatever, because I will forget what my question was that I really wanted the answer to. And sometimes you just have that foot and mouth moment where you're not trying to just say what you want to say, relate to the story. But I do that, and I'm constantly telling myself, shut up, Christine. I don't want to do it. I don't want to hit the button, but I do all the time. So that being said, I have actively been trying not to use my butt button this year. It's a struggle. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing on how hard it is to not turn the conversation around. But I don't have a problem with a person doing that as long as their butt moment stays relevant and doesn't take too much away from what the conversation is. I'm guilty of that. That's what I'm trying to change. But I don't have a problem with it so much. Maybe because I do. I'm a little more understanding of it.
Yeah,
That's all.
I mean, like, I mean, I think it's something that everybody struggles with, you know, but it's like one of those things where I know where I struggle with it, is when I'm talking to the same person about the same similar ish, and it's like, but then didn't we already talk about this? But you didn't do the thing that, but did you also see it from this perspective? And you know, it's, but how are you gonna do that if you didn't do X, Y, and Z? Like, so it's so much things where it's like you repeat it, your brain no longer, it's like this person's about to have the same sad excuse. Here we go again. And it's like you have that, like that instant, like, same sad story. I already know what I'm gonna say. Do you? I mean, you might if it's the same tired person. And if that's the case, maybe we should stop talking about this type of subject, that subject with that person, because I have those people. Some people just don't bring up certain things because I don't want to deal with it. It's like, okay, yeah, yeah, move on to another subject because I know where it's gonna go.
Well, I think that
And
goes somewhere else, away from the but I hate even saying that.
no butt button. See, and that's gonna make you, that's gonna make you think about it. The next time you're having a conversation with somebody, just keep
No,
having your head, stay away from your butt.
no,
Stay away from
no,
your butt. Stay
I'm
away
not
from
gonna
your butt.
reference it
Don't touch your
as
butt.
this button. I'm not gonna
Don't
do
touch.
it.
Don't touch your butt while you're talking to him.
I
Are
quit.
you flexing your butt
I
button?
don't want to do this. I'm not doing this with you. Okay. So anyway, you almost made me forget. See, I told you I'm so distracted. Ugh. But I think those are slightly different conversations, because the interruption is one thing versus being stubborn and not wanting to communicate well. So I think one is more like unintentional in a way. Uh, and the other is a little more like, okay, you don't want to continue the conversation with this person. That's not quite the same thing to me. To me,
Mhm.
uh, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, see, exactly.
In
No,
my
because you
opinion, they're
no,
not the
because you're
same.
right. Here's the issue with the butt button. Is because the butt button can lead to you making the other person's opinion, you know, making feel like they're completely wrong. Here's the thing: they could be completely wrong, but then again, in their heart, they may feel like it's true. And you yourself might not even have the facts to prove that they're completely wrong. Or you both could be right. That's why, for me, the whole butt thing can sometimes be seen as something to make you feel better and not really do anything to help the situation of getting down to the root of the situation. You know, just think about that. When you say but, it's usually to help make it to where your opinion stands out more. And both of y'all are really just having the same opinion. Like, is this to help boost yours, where it's like at the end of the day, your ideals is just still your ideals. It doesn't make it factual. So that's one thing I don't like. You're gonna say but it's like, don't be so trigger happy with your butt. And I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that because now you're giving me that face. Now you're giving me that face. Uh,
Talking about.
Number two, my opinion. I hate it. I hate it.
I love it.
I hate my opinion. You know what my opinion is to me?
Mm.
When people say, okay, my opinion, you're automatically halfway out the door. You're like halfway off of the ledge of this conversation. I'm serious.
Oh.
How? Because
If
if
a
by
person
you
says,
saying
in my opinion, how is that halfway? Like what?
you're like halfway out the door of the conversation, because it's like no matter what you say, don't forget this is my opinion. So like you're not truly like I don't feel like you're truly in involved in the conversation by you stating my opinion. Like bull, no
I
shit
think
is your
that's
opinion. I know that.
unfair. I'm intentionally cutting you off on this one because I can't allow myself to forget. So I'm sorry right now, but I had to. I feel like that's completely wrong. Now, if that's how you interpret it, if that's your opinion on my opinion, I accept that. But just because a person says my opinion, it doesn't mean that they're not willing to have the conversation or the discussion. Some people do. Some people say, well, that's my opinion, and they walk off. We're not talking about them. They're being
No,
difficult for
no,
me.
no, no. Those are the people I'm talking about. The people
Well,
that
I
say
think
it's
you
my
can't.
opinion,
I
and
don't
it's
think you
like
can lump
you just
everybody
put
in
up a
because
wall.
I am a person who says, in my opinion, specifically to let this person know I am not invalidating what your opinion is by any means, but this is my opinion. And I am always, usually I have plenty of conversations with people where they say, this is my opinion. And then they explain what their opinion is. And then you can say, well, this is my opinion. And they explain what their opinion is and why they believe that. And sometimes you can continue the conversation from there. And sometimes it just boils down to, let's agree to disagree. We've come to an impasse, that type of thing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm not willing to listen to you anymore because this is my opinion. I was like, because those are not, it's just not the same type of thing for me. But I feel like me saying, in my opinion, is a very respectful thing for me to lead into a conversation with, because it needs to communicate to that person, it's just me. This is just how I see it. I'm not saying, oh, everything you're saying or everybody else's opinion is stupid to me because this is my opinion. It's just like, that's just how I'm viewing it. Just me. That means you don't have to attack me. I'm not attacking you. Me,
I
myself,
feel
personally, and my opinion as how I see it. That's it. That's how I look at it. Me
I feel
saying this
like
is me. I can only speak for me.
I feel like because of the whole like attacking and going down each other's throat thing is reason why people say my opinion. I agree with you. If you're gonna say my opinion, and if you're gonna use your butt button, and if you're gonna say my opinion, be prepared to like state why. And like I'm talking about like in detail, not just like because I heard it, because I saw it, or something like have like legit reasons for it. I agree with you, but once again, I'm talking about the people that you was talking about that shouldn't do it. Is like it's my opinion and then walk off.
Well, in my opinion, I feel like you should have made that a little clearer.
Well, that's why I have you on the show.
It was too vague, too general.
That's why we
With
are a
my
dynamic
opinion
duo.
on my opinion is, I explained why. You went straight, well, before I interrupted you for one, but you started it. You started it with, I think this is exactly this. I was like, that's not fair. That's too
No.
vague.
To be
That's
fair, like you said, you
general.
did cut me off, but
I did,
I
but
still
you had that whole statement before I even cut you off.
I
That's how it gave me the wrong
I
impression.
I still would not have explained it better than you have. So I thank you for that.
Problem.
But no, I for the people that do, and once again, this is a lot of self-reflection here. That's all this is. That's all this conversation is about. Like before you like say my opinion, like I mean, make sure you're prepared to back up where your opinion is coming from. Because if you just say my opinion and I'm gonna challenge your opinion, me personally, I'm going to have a reason. I'm gonna have like some type of research or some type of backup, because I don't like to talk about stuff I don't know about. I said, let me get back with you later, and then we'll go from there. Why are you looking like that? Ain't that the truth?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
I'm doing better. I'm doing better. I'm
I
changing.
see
I'm
how it
changing.
is.
No,
But
finish.
yeah, but for real, like with those people, it's like they say it, and your actions does affect a person's conversation. If you constantly say my opinion, it's like, I know it's your opinion, but just why do you feel like I'm attacking you? What's making you say my opinion over and over? Because like I said, I feel like I've heard that more recently because people are, feel attacked or feel like their opinions don't matter. Here on Straight Up, your opinions always matter. I always say, unless it's on social media, but that's just me. You say whatever you want on social media, but I if you look at my social media, I barely have anything, but I say just about everything on the podcast because it's my voice. You see my face, at least you should be. If you're not seeing my face, that means you're not on Patreon or you're not looking at or supporting us on YouTube, whatever. But everything is here. You got the full package, it's all right here. So that's why I don't like my opinion, because it can really ruin a conversation. It can pull up a wall. It really can. If you say my opinion, just so you know, before we start this conversation, this is my opinion. Don't attack me. No, just state your opinion and have some information to back it up. What?
Okay, I was waiting.
No, that's it.
I was waiting. Okay, because people take longer pauses than I do when I speak, so I have to usually be like, "Are we done?" Because what I can't stand is a person who says, "I didn't finish my thought." I'm like, you had a 5 to 7 second long gap in between. How am I supposed to know you weren't done? Different conversation, different topic.
Conversation.
Right. Again, that's one of my downfalls. But you did touch on it. You were saying they feel attacked. So some people like to repeat my opinion, my opinion. I am a person who definitely says in conversations repeatedly, well, that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Not necessarily is it me saying, I'm not listening to you anymore. I don't want to hear what you have to say. But it comes from this person saying it is saying, like, because you were trying so hard to change my opinion. And that's one of the fastest ways to kick someone out of a conversation, like, or force them to step out of the conversation. Because if you're saying, well, why is this or why is that, is one thing. But then if you keep doubling down and they're like, look, I already told you what my opinion on this is, how I feel about it. Me expressing my opinion and you expressing yours does not mean one of us is trying to change the other person's view. We can discuss this topic and talk about all these things. And if I decide that I have had my mind changed, I'm allowed to do that. But if I still feel firm, and I'll just use religion as the quickest way to get it out there for people. If I say, I believe in Christianity, and these people say, I don't, cool. This is what I believe. This is how I feel. You believe how you feel. We agree to not agree. That's how it is. But if this person keeps giving pushback, I stand firm and say, this is how I feel. It's not me saying, oh, we can't have any other conversations and this and that. It's just like, I need you to respect that this is how I feel. No matter how you feel about how I feel, this is where I stand. If I change it, I change it. If you change it, you change it. But you saying, because you feel like this person saying, in my opinion, you're not thinking in the way of this person might be feeling offended and they might be feeling attacked because you're not listening to them when they say, that's how I feel about it. So now you're invalidating in some way how they feel. Doesn't matter if you get along with it. Doesn't matter if it makes zero sense at all. That's how they feel. You have to, for the sake of conversation alone, let it be. And some people are like, no, you need to change this, your opinion is wrong, that's where you nix every conversation. To tell a person flat out your opinion is wrong, depending on the conversation, because like science is science. It's straight through. If you say the sun is hot and somebody says that's your opinion, that's just stupid. Sun's hot. Okay. It doesn't apply in every conversation. We know this.
Yeah,
But if this is
exactly.
something personal, you have to let that person just kind of feel the way they do over personal things or moral things, ethical things.
Yeah,
Right is
and
right,
this,
wrong is wrong, but a person's
yeah,
opinion is still going to stay their opinion. You know, I just don't feel that a person reiterating this is my opinion on it, especially if we're talking in the ideal situation of they have explained why.
mm-hmm.
That's I don't agree with it being like I don't look at a person who says in my opinion. I think for the sake of conversation, I'd be like, okay, that's your opinion. Good, got it. Next topic. Because I don't want it to get to the point that I make you feel defensive in some way, because that's not my goal.
I was just
I
about to say, you say that.
I know if I think it's stupid, but I don't have to flat out be like, you're stupid.
I was about to say, you say that, but I guess the way I look at it, if I have to say that so many times, I'm just going to cut the conversation. It's like, okay, this guy or woman, they obviously are not here to have a conversation. They're here to just spit out their ideals. I'm done. I'm just like, okay, well, you good. I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, whatever you think. And I believe you're the same way, because you do not prolong a conversation like that. I think you'll just drop it. But that's another reason why I was talking about I said the butt button first, because that goes back to, if somebody is continuously saying my opinion and you have the person who's continuously saying but, that person is doing it for their own satisfaction. They need to check themselves. You need to check
Which one
yourself.
is doing it for their own satisfaction?
The but people. They're continuously saying but.
Oh, so they're pushing.
They're
Is that
pushing.
what you mean?
They're
Okay,
pushing. Yeah. They're now pushing, where now you're doing something you shouldn't do and you're hurting the conversation. So I'm saying too much of both of these things you're not having a proactive, a productive conversation by doing neither one of these things. That's why I don't like them.
Well, I'm just saying in that context, you have two very stubborn, hard-headed beings.
And that's what I'm
They
talking about. It.
have a conversation, and that's why you have to have the mediator or the person who exists in the gray. You
Lee.
cannot have a conversation if somebody's always on the defensive. The butt person and the my opinion person, the hard my opinion person, I'll put it that way, are almost the same person. They don't want to explain why. They don't want to listen to reason. They don't want to hear anything additional. They're like, well, this is how I feel. I don't want to talk to you. Typically, they don't talk to people. They get loud, they get aggressive, and some dismiss themselves. But you cannot engage everybody just through words. Sometimes it takes action, sometimes it takes tone, sometimes it's your volume, it's your hand gestures, it's your examples. I was like, you have to use all your methods of speech to fully engage someone and make them listen to you and consider the things that you're saying. So just a conversation will not work with those people. They have to see things in different views. It takes way longer. So that example is like an umbrella, okay? It's a whole bunch of other little things coming around. It's an umbrella example to me. So I would have to be like, okay, that's an entirely different conversation to talk about how do you engage with someone who is aggressive or is not willing to listen. So we are going to go into a more common to ideal subtext of this conversation and say, okay, we have two people who can listen to each other. and one says, this is my opinion, and the other says, well, this is my opinion, and then they agree to discuss things. We do this a lot.
A
Using
lot.
today as an example, using today, this topic as an example, you feel this way about this term, and I feel that way about this term. And even though we've both given our hard opinion on it, you're willing to listen and understand that other person's side a little better. Does not mean you're going to change your opinion, but now you have an understanding. And that is how you have a discussion. That is how you have conversation. You both take something away, even if it's not going to change your life, even if you will not apply it, but now you have more understanding. And from that point on, conversations can become a little easier for you, hopefully, to have with other people. I know I talk too much. I know I interrupt. I've had that conversation with people. I've had that internal conversation with myself. And I try harder now to not do it so much in conversation. Still failing, but I'm trying. I took in the information and I found where I can apply, where I see it, and I'm trying to fix it little by little. Okay. And I'm done now. Sorry.
No, because this brings me, obviously, we both agree. And it's one of those things where this brings me into my third part, repeat till validated. I have listened to conversations to where two people are having this long, extensive conversation, and they just keep going at it because one person has not yet say, I agree, or I hear you. It only, if I would said, yeah, Kristina, but those my opinion people, if I totally agree with you, and I think you agree with me as well, right? Validate me. No, I was kidding. But you have some people that will keep going only because you did not say, I agree.
They want to be right.
And right, they want to feel right. And they will just keep going, pull whatever out of the blue to continue the conversation. Because I will hope everybody that listen can see from my side and see from your side, But I'm not about to sit here, continue talking about my opinion thing because yeah, I agree. There's nothing else. I don't think we can touch anything on it. But some people will just continuously just repeat the same stuff over and over and over in some form of way until they feel like, yeah, I'm right. Yeah, you see where I'm coming from. Tell me I'm right. Look me in the eye straight. Look me in the eye and whisper in my ear, I'm right. Yeah, I went there. Some people, yeah. Don't question it. Just let it happen.
Had to make that happen. And that's where my brain would go in that part of the conversation. But that's another thing where
it's okay to agree with some
any
people.
altercation, conversation, whatever you want to consider it to be that you step into, I think you should always go in knowing what your limits are. Most people do. Sometimes you end up discussing things with a person whose intention is to only push your buttons and make you mad. But I think you should always go in kind of with all your armor on and be prepared to keep your cool as much as you can, and always be able to pick up the cues on what type of person you're about to go into this battle with, and pay attention to what they're doing, because you can tell okay, this person does not want to have a discussion, they want to have a debate. I don't debate.
I don't debate. That's too much work.
Well, I don't want to debate at all with people. I was like, I'm not here to argue with you.
It's too much energy.
I just wanted to have a discussion where we both try to understand the why behind our reasons a little better. So maybe we can find common ground somewhere here. That's what I came here to do. I wanted to have a discussion, a conversation. You do not. That means I wanted to ask questions and have answer and give answers to your questions. You came to be right. You came to deal blows. You came here to tell me I'm wrong, and this is why. You never had any intentions of listening to what I had to say here. The moment that my opinion conflicted with your opinion, you wrote it off and said, "Oh, I'm about to drill this into the ground.
I'm about to dominate you with my
Yeah,
facts.
like, and say I'm right," is how you feel. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm stubborn and petty. I'm never gonna say you're right. I'll kick you in the kneecap before that. I was like, but if you have made your if you have pled your case to me and you've explained it in a way that I just never considered, I am not too afraid to say, okay, I didn't think about it that way. And
Thank you.
as it is, I'm like, I didn't consider it that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's that
Or
right
like,
there.
okay. Or if my words came out a certain way, I'm like, well, I'm sorry that my words came out this way. That's not what I meant by it. And I explain it further from there.
Right.
And then I'm okay with doing that. There are people who are like, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Those three things is the main thing. Those three things, I feel like for some people cannot do that. I will often say, that's not really what I meant. Let me see if I can try this again, because I suck explaining things. I will often say, I never thought about it like that. Let me process that. Let me give me 5 minutes. Let me process what you just said, because I never thought about that piece of the puzzle. I never thought of that equation, or I've never experienced that. Let me try to play that out in my head. Some people are, you know what, I forgot about that. Or some people just, I don't know if they just feel like scared of being wrong. I'm not scared of being wrong, and I'll tell you in a second. I don't know what that is. Some people will act like they know what something is and have no idea, and will fight to the death to act like they know exactly what it is.
They will die on that hill.
Yes. And that is so stupid.
But he told you 3 times how to get around all this. You know that. Well, no.
I don't. I don't. Like
you could have avoided all of these problems. You know that, right? This person was trying to help you, but you wanted to be right, even though you knew with your whole heart and soul that you were wrong. And now you've potentially jeopardized a lot of things because you couldn't accept that you didn't know something, or that you might have just been a little off with something. Drives me crazy. Absolutely insane. Sounds like you're just being stubborn now for no reason. You don't lose anything in a conversation, in a discussion.
You don't. And it's like, it's okay to like agree with something that 5 minutes ago you was totally against. We talked about the whole hair thing, and I've been stuck on that for like years. But it wasn't until I, one, had my own experiences, and then 2, you told me your side of you told me your perspective, your opinion.
Yeah.
That I was like, yeah. And it was like, you know what? I get it. Now I understand. I don't have an issue with it anymore. That is okay to happen. Now, once again, I think a big factor to this is experience, because there's been many things I've been like, I never understood that. Well, why does that happen? Until I experienced, I'm like, oh, now I get it. Going back to, some of the serious conversations, maybe it takes experience to happen until, maybe you get it, maybe you don't. But I'm saying, keep that factor in, because tough talk these days, tough talk conversations the states are having around this time period, which is why I really want to talk about this, because we're getting in a very serious time where like social media everything. It's like, can we not just talk about things without getting heated? And also, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree. It's like, I get it, you know. Hey, if you don't believe in my religion, you know, I know some people think, okay, well, you're going to hell. But can we not still be friends? Hey, you're going to hell, but we can still be friends.
Context matters a lot. Um, it does not always apply in every conversation. So there is no answer to how to handle these types of situations with people. Like some things you can easily change someone's opinion or discuss their opinions because it's just opinion. And then sometimes there's things where there's just fact and harm and things intended, and you have to take that, because I will go to Black Lives Matter. You know, people like, I don't understand why these people are doing this. This country's been amazing to these people. And they're saying, no, no, it has not. And then you have these people saying, well, it's never affected me. Our realities are very different. So you don't get to get my experience because you've had a positive one. You know, I mean, like in the case of like two Black people who've had different upbringings, or even the same upbringings, where one has experienced a little more than the other, even though they grew up in a common ground. You know, they're saying, well, I've never had this happen to me. So I think you guys are just doing the wrong things. If you do what I do, you wouldn't have these problems. Those are real conversations we have.
Real conversations, yeah.
And then you have this person who's saying, I've done everything the way that you did, but my experience has still been completely different from yours.
Yep. It only took one.
Everyone, just as I can't speak for everyone. But one of you is trying to prove the other wrong when you don't get to do that because you didn't experience it the same.
Because look, people will call me, I'm a good Black man. But it only took one trip to Lee's side of the town. I was like, oh, I'm about to die.
I have been in the vehicle before and been told many times by different sets of people, oh, you're one of the good ones. Well, I'm like, okay, what? And I have to say, what do you mean by that?
What does that mean?
Oh, you're not ghetto. I'm like, what do you mean by that? I grew up in the same ghetto as these people, but because I speak the way I do, I'm not ghetto.
And I have those conversations
at the drop of a dime. Oh, like I grew up where I grew up, but people don't expect me to, and I'm like, I'm not afraid of you. I will fight you. I don't care if I need to. I'm gonna avoid it if I can. But I'm not gonna run. I'm just saying, ain't no pump.
Yeah, no, I mean, true facts. And even those conversations, like I have with, you know, my white friends, and we have long, deep conversations. And often, sometimes we do disagree, but we still hang out, laugh out loud, all types of shenanigans. It never stops us. So it's one of those, because we often don't use, you know, the butt button as often. You know, I don't use my butt button around many guys. And my opinion, you know, because mainly we're just, you know, just spouting out, you know, what we believe. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just want good conversations. I know for me, like I said, a lot of this I had to learn, because like I told you in a second, like when people talk to me, especially when it comes to certain things, especially in my industry, in my field, and they want to ask me how can they do something, they're telling me what the issue is, and I'm already like, as they're talking, processing everything. It's like, you know, that's a bad habit where I need to listen first and then, you know, say how they can fix it, because they probably said one thing that probably messed up what I was thinking, because I didn't know they was in a certain area, or I didn't know if they needed a certain time. I don't know, just one piece of information out of a conversation that you missed because you was thinking in your mind or playing with your butt button, and now you look like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna leave it at that. Those t-shirts will come. I'm working with Calvin on that one.
I'm so disappointed in both of you. Children.
What are you all's thoughts on this episode? For sure, like I said, we just want to bring you a little bit something to the feed since you did not get your episode Monday. Trust the content will keep rolling back next week. If not, we will be here to, pick up the pieces. Hey. If you have liked the conversation me and Kristina had today, definitely check us out. It's only $3 for the Patreon exclusive. We have a lot of good conversations on there. Deep, also kind of not as deep, but we do have a lot of conversation. I think what we talked about on there. I know we have Black women in sports. That's one of the deep ones. We did talk about trying to think. We talked about the Will Smith, and
we've had plenty of relationship conversations.
Plenty. We only had one episode, and it's even called Another Dating Episode.
A lot of Black identity type conversation.
I'm actually
the everyday topics, basically.
The everyday topics, and we're always working to make Straight Up show, Straight Up Extra, even more inclusive. But like I said, you wouldn't know that. Check it out on Patreon, and we will also be having smaller things to keep you updated with what's going on that side. But once again, send us comments. Please send us emails. I know Calvin likes to make the joke of the hate mail. Quite frankly, send us whatever you want. What topics do you want us to hit? And hey, once again, don't be scared to be straight up, because at the end of the day, you only have one voice, and you can't lose that thing.
I almost did.
Oh, and that would have been tragic if Kristina lost her voice. I think some people would disagree. It's like, no, she's talked too much.
Did you have to say some people? Like
some people?
Like just a
very few.
Okay.
Huh? No, very few people.
Some people with them, like, well, dang, just straight up some people. Okay.
Some people, straight up some people. Hashtag straight up some people. Those people over there. We're rambling now, but don't forget, like I said, share the content. Help us out. We definitely appreciate the listens, and don't forget, send Calvin a get well DM. That being the Straight Up social media or his personal. I think I will have the Straight Up links in the show notes. We will catch you all next week, either on the main feed if Calvin is not better, or you can always catch us on the Patreon. $3 or $5 for the video, because Kristina be looking very, very fine sometimes.
And you want to see that. How come y'all ain't never pointed out how lazy this eye is? This eye is so tired today.
Are you talking about the listeners or us?
Oh, whoever's viewing. Whoever. All of y'all, Patreon's viewers, Brandon, y'all fake. Y'all didn't tell me this eye was halfway down my face. Forget y'all. No.
I always talk about, I mean, look, we always compliment. I mean, who looks at eyes? Quite frankly, everybody has a lazy something. People have multiple.
People like this.
A lot of people have lazy eyes. Some people have lazy nipples. One nipple is lower than the other one. This is the thing. I'm just saying. Some people have one arm that's longer than the other, and you have those bow-legged, like, some people leg is longer than the other. So I mean, look, everybody's a little bit limp sometimes, and it might happen to you at the worst time where you just can't get it up. But we're gonna leave it at that. We'll catch you all later. Definitely go back and listen to some of the previous episodes if you haven't done it. We will catch you all next week. See you later.
Bye.